Thanks for joining us. Here are the business stories we're tracking at this hour. I am Omobolanle Adeshui. The federal government has vowed to go ahead with the planned implementation of a 5% hike in call and data tariffs. A statement for the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning said the tariff hike will go on despite resistance from the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Professor Ali Pantami. The government said it will begin the implementation of 5% excise duty tax on all voice calls, SMS and data services, in addition to the existing 7.5% value-added tax paid for goods and services across all sectors of the economy. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, disclosed at a stakeholders meeting organized by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, the telecoms industry regulator. At that meeting, Mrs. Ahmed, who was represented by the Assistant Director, Tax Policy, Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Musa Umar, noted, quote, henceforth, the 5% excise duty will be collected by telecom operators and payment made to the federal government every month on or before 21st of every month, end of quote. Reacting to Pantami's resolve to resist the tariff hike, she said the 5% excise duty has been in the Finance Act 2020 but has never been implemented. Mrs. Ahmed added that a circular stating that the planned hike was addressed to the Communications and Digital Economy Minister and other relevant ministries and agencies of government. And capital inflows to the Nigerian banking sector rose by 109.8% in the first half of 2022 from $698.2 million recorded in the second half of 2021 to $1.47 billion. Data from the Central Bank of Nigeria said this figure is 46.5% higher than the $1 billion inflow recorded in the corresponding period of 2021. According to the Apex Bank, the banking sector recorded the highest foreign inflow in the period under review compared to other sectors of the Nigerian economy, accounting for 47.1% of the inflows into the country. The manufacturing and financing sectors followed with $457.7 million and $396.7 million respectively. The data also revealed that a total of $3.1 billion in the capital was imported into the Nigerian economy as foreign inflows between January and June 2022, most of which were in form of foreign portfolio investment (FPIs). In contrast to the first half of 2021, foreign inflows grew by 11.8%. However, when compared to the second half of 2021, they declined by 20.7%. The decline in the number of foreign inflows has caused a huge forex supply shortage in the economy, piling more pressure on the exchange rate as demand for forex has outpaced supply, leading to a depreciation in the local currency in the official and parallel markets. Meanwhile, foreign direct investment (FDI), which involves the purchase of an interest in a company by a foreign investor, accounted for only 9.7% of the total inflows into Nigeria, despite having a strategic impact on the growth of the economy. And Nigeria's crude oil production plunged by 2.3 million barrels in July 2022 when compared to what the country produced in the preceding month of June. Data from the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, showed on Thursday. In its latest monthly oil market report for August 2022, OPEC stated that crude oil production figures based on direct communication indicated that Nigeria's output dropped by an average of 74,000 barrels per day in July. This implies that for the 31 days in July, the country lost about 2.3 million barrels of crude oil. The organization further stated that the average cost of Brent crude, the global benchmark for oil, during the month under review was $105.12 a barrel. By losing 2.3 million barrels in July this year, it means Nigeria's oil earnings fell by about $241.1 million or 101.13 billion naira, official exchange rate of 419 naira 37 kobo in the month under review. Data from OPEC showed that Nigeria's oil production in June 2022 was 1.158 million barrels per day but this dropped to 1.084 million barrels per day in July. The country had produced 1.04 million barrels per day in May this year, according to figures released by OPEC on Thursday. And SEPLAT Energy, a leading Nigerian energy company listed on the Nigerian Exchange and London Stock Exchange, yesterday said it has not yet been officially informed about the withdrawal of the federal government's consent in its 1.3 billion oil deal with Mobil Producing Nigeria Unlimited, MPNU. However, the company promised to continue working with relevant parties to conclude the proposed acquisition. The company stated, quote, SEPLAT Energy has become aware of a news report claiming that ministerial approval of the company's proposed acquisition of the entire share capital of Mobil Producing Nigeria Unlimited has been withdrawn. SEPLAT Energy has received no official notification of such a decision and is seeking clarification from the relevant authorities. We will continue to work with all parties to achieve a successful outcome to the proposed acquisition and will provide an update in due course. End of quote. President Buhari had reversed his earlier consent authorizing the acquisition of EXXONMOBIL Corporation assets by SEPLAT Energy PLC. Before then, SEPLAT Energy had agreed to acquire the entire share capital of MPNU at a cost of $1.3 billion plus up to $300 million contingent consideration. President Buhari had reversed his earlier consent authorizing the acquisition of EXXONMOBIL Corporation assets by SEPLAT Energy PLC. The federal government on Thursday received the International Organization for Standardization Accreditation Certificate on behalf of the Nigeria Stored Products Research Institute, an agency under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. With the receipt of the ISO certification, the government stated that the NSPRI was now globally accredited to certify qualified agricultural produce meant for export from Nigeria, and the agency would commence this activity immediately. This, it said, would help curb the rejection of Nigerian agro-products by foreign nations, describing the ISO certification of the NSPRI laboratory headquartered in Ilorin, Kwara State as a milestone achievement. The Minister of State for Agriculture and Rural Development, Mustapha Sheuri, disclosed this in Abuja while receiving the ISO accreditation certificate on behalf of the federal government. Explaining the functions of the NSPRI, the minister said what it does essentially is to check the quality of agricultural produce going out of the country and ensure that they comply with all specifications. The federal government has disclosed that the total cost of post-harvest losses in Nigeria's agriculture industry is 3.5 trillion naira. This was disclosed by the Minister of State for Agriculture and Rural Development, Mustapha Sheuri, at a presentation of the International Standard Organization ISO certification for Nigerian Stored Products Research Institute in Abuja. He also added that for fruits and vegetables, losses could be as high as 50 to 60%. The minister, represented by Mr. Shehu Bello, the Director of Lands and Climate Change Management Services in the ministry, said post-harvest losses are a worrisome situation that threaten Nigeria's food security. He added that ISO 1705 accreditation is proof that the ministry now has a laboratory that is acceptable for a quality management system in place with the ability and competence to provide testing and calibration results. He said, quote, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture will continue to support and ensure that this institute and indeed other research institutes are regularly funded to execute their mandate.